Hey guys, it's Min and Meera at Woke and Pretty. Welcome again for another episode. We're happy to have you here for Am I the A-hole?
Ooh.
Du-du-du. I know. I love it. I always like it. But I think I really like it because one, we get to judge people because they're asking us to judge them.
Mm.
Two, these stories are always ridiculous, man. I
Oh,
haven't
they're
come
so
across one
ridiculous.
like I just feel like we have so many things that happen to us throughout our day, throughout our life that I could post about it. And some of them are complete conundrums where you're like, I can go either way. But most of them aren't. Most of them, it's very blatant that you are or are not the a-hole.
Mhm.
And you didn't need to post it. You could have just self-reflected a little bit. But anyway, moving on. Here's one that came out fairly recently. And I think it's a pretty easy one, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll read it for you. Am I the a-hole for posting gifts my unborn baby gets on Facebook? It's making me feel almost guilty, like I shouldn't be, because I'm making people feel bad, but those aren't my intentions at all. The context is I live 5,000 kilometers away from home and my family has been sending gifts for my unborn. I post them basically to say thank you and in an album so I remember who gifted what. I posted one this morning, and immediately after, she posted this as a status. Effing hate my life sometimes, LOL. Some young mothers are so lucky to have financial help from family. Wish I had that, LOL. Effing formula is so expensive and that shit is stressing me out, LOL. So I guess her friend posted that. Yeah. First of all, you don't know if it's directly about you.
Also true.
Second of all, you can also just take a video and send it to your family. You don't got to post it on Facebook, girl.
Also true, but she's trying to catalog, right? There's multiple ways to do
Publicly.
this, but
Publicly.
nobody,
You also could open up your
nobody
phone and take
shares,
notes.
girl, nobody shares the downfalls. Or correction, I shouldn't say that. Very few people share the downfalls. People say,
Yeah.
social media is a highlight reel. So
I also think there's a couple things here. If she's gonna be posting this on Facebook, that means she's gonna be posting everything on Facebook when her kid's born.
you open up that, excuse me, you open up that door for sure.
Yeah. People are allowed to feel how they feel. You should keep doing what you're doing. That's it. I went through the Facebook rabbit hole before when I was very lucky. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of family, and they support me financially in terms of giving me things for my baby. And obviously, they were all there at my baby shower. It was like a party. It was great. But I read a lot of things about in the pregnancy things where people had baby showers for themselves and nobody came, even though people said they would come. Or they like put together meals and whatever and like did the whole party and nobody came, or they're struggling. And I felt really bad. But at the same time, everybody has a different life. And I can't internalize somebody else's life. I have to be just grateful for the one that I have because it could be taken away.
Yeah.
So let me just enjoy it while I can. But I also don't, if somebody's Facebook is bothering you because they're posting so much, you are the problem. You just delete them or ignore them. You don't have to post your own status to be like, woe is me.
It's true.
What? So this person who posted this, I would say, you're not the asshole, but don't let this person bother you, especially if you think it's directed at you. That's very weird that they would even do that.
She reposted what was shared. Obviously, the person who reposted what was shared is frustrated in her own situation.
Yeah. I think somebody posted as a status after she posted.
Mm-hmm.
So she saw it because they posted. So she doesn't know if it's directly about her, which it probably is. Probably a friend. But I don't know. Why isn't her kid's dad paying for the freaking formula? If you're like, yeah, it's expensive, but this person has to pay for it too. It's not like her family is being like, here you go, here's money for formula.
No, but
my family's great.
Is providing like material
Support.
items support. So maybe it's frustrating. Maybe she's not.
You know what I did when I got presents for my unborn?
Open.
I sent a thank you note.
Yeah.
Every single person.
Honey,
and
I'm not saying that necessarily, but this is how she wants to express her gratitude.
I get it, but what happened to a good thank you note though? You still should send a thank you note. Just be you posting on Facebook is not a thank you note.
And maybe she's going to. Maybe she hasn't gotten around to doing any of that stuff yet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She did say she's cataloging it, so maybe she's busy working 40 hours a week and is exhausted after.
You could also, I don't know, it's exhausting to videotape it and catalog it in that way in an album. You could also literally just write it on the notes. Min, formula.
Again, though, this is her decision that she wants to share how she's getting the gifts. So,
Okay.
you know,
Did I tell you that my cleaning lady bought me lunch today? Again, side note, I ate it all already.
so funny. Love it.
So some of these are long. I don't know if I want to read them all, but okay, I'll read this one because this one's like kind of interesting.
Okay.
It's a little different than what we're used to. Am I the a-hole for going on a cleaning strike in my home and not telling anyone I'm doing so? I really feel like I know it's different. I really feel like I'm taken for granted and honestly taken advantage of in some ways. I don't work at the moment. However, I'm not working right now because I'm taking online courses to gain the certification required to work in the state that we just moved to. My significant other is a sole provider for now while I can do this. He works Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. My son is 17. My daughter is 14 and are both in high school with the same hours. We also have my fiance's or significant others, 11-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son every single weekend. None of them do pretty much anything I ask. Oh, anything unless I ask, usually multiple times. But even then, some things still don't get done. No one even picks up after themselves anymore. She basically posted a picture of the house this morning, and she said the day before she had deep cleaned, including everyone's bedrooms. And she cooked for Thanksgiving. She had cooked all the dishes. It was 14 dishes by herself, and she cleaned. And there were a couple pots and pans in the sink that was left over. And she said that they should do it. But anyway, it gets weird. Her significant other and her have separate bedrooms. It didn't start out that way, but I couldn't take it anymore. I have my own room and his kids sleep with him when they come over. I feel bad for taking over their room, but they love that they share a room with their dad. So it's a win. When we first moved, before I started the online courses, it really didn't bother me much. For 2.5 months, I was home all day without anything else to do, and I loved it. I've never been a stay-at-home mom and actually enjoyed cleaning, cooking, and taking care of everything and everyone, but now I'm just tired. So she goes on to say what the normal day is, but basically she gets up at 5 a.m. and takes care of everyone's needs. And then when they leave to go to school, including waking up her husband and everything, when they leave to go to school, she drinks her cup of coffee and then she starts her classes, sets an alarm, stops her classes, then cleans, and then goes back to doing her classes. And then she does it every single day. So now she wants to know if she's an a-hole for basically stop doing what she's doing. I don't think she's a maid, but I have a lot of questions. One, why are you in separate bedrooms from your fiance?
I can tell you why. I wouldn't separate bedrooms with mine.
Why?
Because it feels like a very similar situation. I don't know the woman's situation, so I'm not going to say.
Are you triggered?
I'm a little triggered.
Oh, shoot. I tried to not trigger you today.
No. Hold on. It is, listen, we've talked about the mental load that women take on. And I've also told you there's a study that says women, the domestic labor is increased by 7 hours. And when women are with a man, and then theirs decreases by an hour a week. So for me, this whole thing, like maybe she's voiced her opinion about it, and it sounds like she has, and she's just tired now of it. She's home all the time. I know that when I was off work for a little bit, my husband came to me at one point and seriously was like, I don't understand why, if you're home all day, you can't have dinner on the table for when I get home.
I dare Greg to say that to me.
I'm not kidding you. I literally looked at him and I was like, because I'm not your mom and you can cook for yourself. And he's like, you're home all day. And I was like, I'm home because I'm looking currently, and I'm in between jobs. So I'm currently looking for a job. And there was other things happening. But anyways, I digress. So in my opinion, like, and then I used to be like, you know what? I'm not going to fight with you on this. I'm home all day. Fine. I'll get dinner on the table for you. So I did it, grudgingly did it. And then I was like, you know what? When I went back to work finally, I was like, I'm back at work now and I'm still doing 98% of the housework and you've never lifted a broom. I don't even think you know where the broom is. And then I was like, I tell you what, I'll give you $1,000 right now if you tell me where we keep the vacuum. He had no effing clue. None at all. Maybe she's voiced her opinion several times, is now frustrated at the fact. And this is going to be super gross, but I don't even care. I'm going to tell it anyways. By the time that my husband and I had moved out of our marital bedroom, moved into another bedroom, I couldn't live anymore or sleep anymore in the space that the bedroom that we shared. My husband doesn't like to put away anything at all. And I'm a very meticulous person where things need to be placed where they are. And also I like to create a certain vibe in my bedroom. So if it's not relaxing, then to me, I get overly anxious, right? I had moved into the second bedroom because I was sick of seeing piles of clothes everywhere, clothes on the floor, and he just refused to pick up after himself. And I was at the point where I was like, I'm not your mom. I'm not picking up after you. I moved into the second bedroom and we went through a massive heat wave in Toronto. So much, and this was just before I left him and during the pandemic. And then not only did we go through a massive heat wave, but we were on the 32nd floor of an apartment building. And the AC in our apartment building was unable to be turned on. Like, as the whole building's AC was done. So there was about 2 weeks where it was hot, like crazy hot, and we didn't have AC in the unit. So much so that I had to take my puppy and have him boarded elsewhere so that he basically didn't get heat exhaustion. After this was all said and done, I sat down and my husband asked me if I was ever moving back into our bedroom. And I said no. And he asked why. And I was like, forget the fact that your clothes are everywhere and you just refuse to put them away. Forget that fact, because I'll push that aside. I was like, but can you tell me the last time that you changed those sheets? Because I remember the last time, and I believe it was pre-heat wave, which was 2 weeks ago. How many times is she supposed to voice her opinion about this that he just decides he doesn't want to?
But it sounds like you assume that he should know these things, right? I'm just asking, I'm being devil's advocate. It sounds like he should know that he needs to change the sheets. He should know that he needs to clean up after himself. I'm just saying, it's common sense, but he's a man. You used to do it for him.
Why is this on art?
Because his mom created the monster. I'm assuming. I'm going to say that because in this particular instance, she has created a monster from her children, his children who visit, and him. She has enabled this because she always does it. That's the thing. It's not our responsibility, but we take it on. And then when we want the break, we expect people to just clean up after themselves. And if we say it and they don't, we get mad. But the thing is, I think she's in this frustrated situation. But these kids are done grown. You just created monsters. What are they going to be like when they're in relationships? They're going to do exactly what your ex-husband did because they got somebody cleaning up for them, or somebody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
So they're teenagers. So she still has time. She still has time to train. She still has time to create a chore chart. Dude, my grandma was like, you know what she did? I think I was like 15 or 14. I think I was 14 and my sister was 16. She came home one day and she had laundry basket for our rooms. My room, my cousin's room. Here you go. These are your laundry baskets. You put your dirty clothes in there and then you wash them. That's it. I didn't know how to use the laundry. I never even thought about it. I figured it out because I had to. And that was it. She was done doing our clothes every single day. Yeah. So that it is what it is. For their rooms being clean, Axel, you think mommy's going to clean your room forever? Sir, get the hell out of here. You know what he said to me this morning before our cleaning lady came? Oh, it's dirty. And I was like, yeah, Indra's coming today. He goes, okay, clean. Little man, pick up your stuffed animals and put them back so she can actually clean.
Yeah.
The simple things. You still have a responsibility. But yeah, we have to train them. Interesting thought.
It also shouldn't be like, I remember as a child always having to like make my bed. If you aren't enforcing that at a young age for them to be, if you're not raising little humans to take pride in their little space that they have, then I don't think it's helpful for the next person that you're passing this weight onto. Like, to give you an idea, my ex, when he moved out, his mom used to go over to his new place, pick up his laundry, do his laundry for him, and then drop it off for him.
Yep. Yeah.
And I was like, what?
You know what also could do that? A laundry service. Listen, moms are going to be moms, and she enabled bad behavior, which poached into your relationship and clearly was a big part of why you guys didn't get along. You're not doing your kids a service here.
No, you need to, like I said, you need to teach your humans how to be productive humans in general. And this means all aspects of their life, right? Not just their careers.
When I was working from home, I'm doing my own thing. I had this fear that Greg would come home and be like, how come you didn't cook dinner? How come you didn't do this? I never cooked dinner. I stopped cooking dinner a long time ago. Like, I would go through moments where I would, and then I would just stop. Like, I never was consistent. I would always worry about what we ate or took Axel out, or I would go and buy something and bring it back. But I just finally admitted that I'm not a cook and I don't like it and I don't enjoy any aspect of it. So therefore I don't want to do it, and I won't. Not that I can't, I just won't. Greg has never, and this is to his credit, once said anything about, he's actually said to me, it's not your responsibility for me to eat or to have dinner. Cause I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to cook today. And he literally said that to me. He's like, it's not your responsibility for me. I'm a grown man. And I was like, thank you. He said that to me before. And he does not eat all day. When he goes to work, he doesn't eat. And then he comes home. So the dinner is like his one meal. I was feeling guilty because I'm like, I'm here. I could have just and I usually do try to have something, but when I don't, my focus is on Axel. I'm not trying to diss you, but go buy something. You could drive. You got money. If it really comes down to it, I can't worry about that. And so for him to say that, it was like a relief, but he said that multiple times throughout our life together. And he has never once said, can you clean up after yourself? Or and to be fair, I usually don't tell him to clean up after himself, even though there are little messes here and there that I don't like. Whenever he asks me to change something, I say, okay, I'm happy to change that if you can change this. And then he's always, what? Tit for tat. The point of my story is, just because I was home doesn't mean I automatically took on these duties. I clean my house and do things around my house when I'm good and ready, but I don't feel the need to do the dishes every single day or to do the floors every day or to clean the toilets every week. I don't. When I'm ready, I will do it. And if you have a complaint, you could do it.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Obviously, as Axel gets older, it's going to be a little bit of a problem with the aim and the this and the that. I like a clean bathroom and a really clean kitchen. I can't not.
Same. Yeah.
Those are my two things. But other than that, if your room, if you want to be a pig, you live in a pigsty, you could live in a pigsty. But I better not see any bugs. I better not see any things that impose in the rest of my house. But I probably will not raise a kid like that. He already cleans up after himself when he does his toys for the most part and all that stuff. So yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how all that goes. But I think she could still train her kids. And I think she's obviously upset and exasperated, but I think they should have a family meeting. I think her fiance should support her in this. And I think he's part of the problem because maybe he doesn't enforce things and he doesn't do his share. So I think the conversation, if you do sit down and have a conversation with your grown kids, because teenagers think they're grown, to be fair, 1, 7 or whatever, but they can do stuff. Here's a list of the chores and things that need to get done throughout the week. And here are some of it more than once, whatever. Let's divide them up. What do you not mind doing? Remember, you talked about this before, having that list of what you don't mind doing. Divide it up that way. Everybody has to have something. For the kids that come on the weekend, they're younger, 7 and 4, I think she had said. That's okay. They can do something while they're there. They can be in charge of something while they're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to be the dish person every single day.
No.
But maybe a chart would help or something. And there has to be repercussions for these kids when they decide not to do it.
Yeah.
They like internet, right? They like phones, right?
I used to, this is obviously super early, but when my kids were younger, I used to change the password daily. So they'd have to do
that's
something.
A good one.
Yeah, they'd have to do a couple of chores before they were able to get the internet password. You want the Wi-Fi? No problem.
I love that.
You can have the Wi-Fi password when you do these 3 things. And once you're done those 3 things, then I'm free. We'll give you the Wi-Fi
Put that
password
in my pocket for later.
I have 2, right? If one kid did hers, for instance, my daughter did hers, but my son didn't, it also meant that she wasn't getting the Wi-Fi password.
Ooh.
Now they need to learn how to work as a team.
Because now if you give it to one, they could easily share on their Apple devices.
Exactly. So I wasn't doing that. So yeah, The Wi-Fi password is huge. You can change it daily, and then you can give it to them when they've earned it.
You
The other thing, too,
established
is
that early on.
I did establish that early on. I learned to do that because my son has always been obsessed with video games.
Mhm.
And so when he got his Nintendo, whatever it was back in the day that he got, it would be the first thing that he would run to. And I would say, no, you know what? You have these 3 things to do. And then once you do those 3 things, I will grant you a half hour on the Nintendo.
Mhm.
And then obviously my daughter would want to get in on something else. So I'd do the same. And then the Wi-Fi kicked in. And I was like, oh, we're doing the same thing with the Wi-Fi. I don't have to give you
That's
the password.
awesome.
The Wi-Fi is me. I pay for the Wi-Fi.
That's one of the best
Wi-Fi is
parenting.
not a necessity. It's a luxury.
That's one of the best parenting tips I've ever heard.
Yeah, girl, change your Wi-Fi password. It's awesome. Especially around like this time of year when they're like, or Santa won't come. This is the time of year that I would play up Santa a lot.
I try. I'm trying. Axel just leaned into the fact that he's a good boy, but he's also a bad boy. He just leaned into it.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
I used to say, no, you're a good boy. You just behave badly sometimes. Because sometimes I slip up and I say, you're being a bad boy. And he's, I'm not a bad boy, because he's upset. And I'm like, no, you're not a bad boy. I'm sorry. You're a good boy, but you're doing naughty things right now. So it's hard. Kids are very literal. Lucky for me, I'm still at the stage where I can take away his stuffy and he gets upset if I throw it in the attic. So that's been, well, I don't want to say working because I've had a rough week with him. That still works, taking away things that he cares about.
Yeah.
Elf on the Shelf didn't really work and it's not working, but we're trying. Still trying.
You've been moving it?
Just the different parts of his room. I move it so he could see it. So I picked him up from his crib yesterday and gave him he wanted a hug. So I gave him a hug. So I made sure, I knew he was going to ask for that. So I made sure it was like within his vantage point so he could see that it moved.
Nice.
And then today I moved him in a higher shelf, and then probably tomorrow I'll move him outside the room.
Yeah.
So he can he likes hide and seek. So it'll be like that.
Nice.
Ah, so fun. Look at us. Such good
So
parents. All right, girl. I had a really fun time today talking to you about all this. So we enjoyed our Am I the A-hole segment and also our life story. So if you did, share it with your friend. Woke Pretty Podcast on TikTok and Instagram and on YouTube. And please share Spotify, Apple, or whatever you listen to podcasts on. Please share our show and we would appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.